So it looks like we've got more leads in regard to the Odin Runes mysteries, which seem to be tied in with this 1.4 update that we will be receiving in the next few months, as well as exploring these tombs of famous anti-Roman war chiefs. And this is, of course, all thanks to Pedder, who's been rummaging around in the game files, and he's given us some awesome stuff to talk about and speculate on. So just in case, spoiler alert inbound, folks, and let's go tomb raiding. Now, first up, when it comes to this 1.4 update, when is it actually likely to come out? Well, Ubisoft are trying to stick to their 5-week release schedule when it comes to title updates. So if we actually take the Discovery Tour and discount it as a kind of official update per se, and then just go off the 1.32 title update, which was released on Tuesday, the 5th of October, this looks like it may be rocking up approximately around Tuesday, the 9th of November, if they do stick to their update rotation. If we also have a look at the picture Ubisoft have shown as their kind of title update art in a little bit more detail, it looks like Eivor is actually walking through some sort of underground tomb with spikes on either side of the walls, and it pretty much looks like something out of an Indiana Jones movie. And this all kind of lines up with what Pedder has actually found in the game files, is it does look like we'll be visiting hidden tombs across England that have been booby-trapped by a Roman engineer called Manius Calvisu. Now, Pedder isn't sure how this title update starts yet, more speculation of course, but he has found an entry where it states illusions, and alongside that illusion entry there's a quote from Manius, the Roman engineer, who goes on to state that, "By pure happenstance I have unleashed the power of this remarkable machinery. The entrance to these caves are obscured, leaving a passer-by to believe that there is no entrance at all, and if I believed in the gods I would ascribe this to Mercury himself." Now, no bamboozles here folks, but I think this is referencing the Odin Runes which are dotted around England and Ireland. And if you're not sure what Odin Runes are, they're actually markings that have been discovered in certain areas around the game with no explanation as of yet. In fact, Darby McDevitt, the former narrative director for Valhalla, stated that we had to be patient and wait for an answer about them, and that was actually back in March. And each Odin Rune has actually been carved into some sort of rock around the game. So could these be the hidden entrances Manius has crafted that lead us to actually get behind these Odin Runes and into these caves? Well, this does seem to be the case, because Pedder's found another reference that says that strange markings have appeared on certain stones around England and across the river from Ravensthorpe. You must explore these Briton tombs, and of course we actually have an Odin Rune opposite Ravensthorpe up on the hill, and if these game file entries are anything to go by, it looks like we finally got our Odin Runes mystery inbound for the 1.4 update. Now, interestingly, Manius does call these entrances so well hidden that Mercury would be proud, and Mercury, incidentally, is a name given to the god Hermes by the Romans, and we've actually seen Hermes before in Assassin's Creed. He was actually a skilled craftsman and inventor for the Isu, and was noted for several technological contributions during the Isu era, including the Staff of Hermes, which of course Kassandra gave to Layla, and was also responsible for creating the Wings of Hermes, which actually allowed the Isu to travel across large distances. So another stab in the dark here, but could this be what the Odin Rune caves around Britain and Ireland are for? Some sort of fast travel underground tube system for the Isu to kind of teleport around the place. But it doesn't stop there though, of course, because Manius then goes on to say that Emperor Nero has given him a task of madness, and that he's to actually prevent the Britons from gathering at these tombs of their fallen warriors, and is to actually build something that allows the Britons to approach the tombs, but when they do, they then suddenly perish. This is because Nero's advisors have said to him that if he was to actually defile the tombs or seal them from entry, it would bring a storm of ill fortune upon Nero personally. So Manius needs to create these hidden traps that suddenly kills these worshippers and also de-incentivizes others from visiting, which kind of provides us with all of the solid backstory to why he's actually constructing all of these traps. And speaking of traps, this is where the trap imagery I think Ubisoft have kind of teased in their roadmap comes into play, because Pedder has found reference to spinning traps, spike walls and pressure plates, and we've actually seen a few of these in play in the game already in the Roman ruins in Francia and elsewhere of course, so I think we're going to see a lot more of the same here. But here's the thing though, because Manius then goes on to say that these caves were used for some other purpose long before the Britons' barbaric rebellion. He asks himself what their purpose was, because there was evidence of restraints and cages hidden away in these caves, and questions whether it was for beasts of men. He then also notes that there was a final entrance that he couldn't get into, and wonders what secrets actually lay behind it. And surely this has to be another Isu tomb, or perhaps a laboratory where tests were done by the Isu. This kind of gets me thinking about the Olympus project, where Juno and Aita abducted humans and created these hybrid beasts. So it may be a bit of a stretch there, lots more speculation, but definitely food for thought. But saying that, we've got even more Manius chat here thanks to Pedder, and he actually goes on to say that the tombs are now protected by his contraptions. So I'm assuming he's completely kitted out these tombs with his traps. But the thing is, he's actually defeated behind this final entrance, which I think is the big Isu door that we've just discussed, and it's actually a problem that he can't solve and he can't can't open. So I reckon after we navigate through all of these tombs, we'll come across this final tomb where there's actually a door at the end. I'm assuming it's a big old Isu door that we can't get access to, or perhaps we can because we're Eivor or Odin or however you want to look at it, and we'll be able to utilize some sort of raven or eagle vision to actually figure out how to get inside. But what do you think about this? Let us know down below. And by the way, if you've learned anything new so far or picked up some sort of value from the video, a very swift like down below only takes a second of your time, and it genuinely really helps me out, so thank you very much. Now, we briefly mentioned Nero earlier, but he actually wanted to stop the Britons coming to worship their fallen chieftains at these tombs to actually prevent further uprisings against the Romans in that particular time period. And it does seem that at least 3 of these tombs contain people of real historic importance that are alleged to actually have really existed in that Roman era. Now, one of these tombs is the resting place of Boudica or Boudica, and she's still considered a British folk hero to this day, and she was actually queen of the Iceni people and often coined as the Queen of Britain, as she actually began an uprising against the Roman occupation. And the Iceni people actually were a tribe who came from Norfolk, which is in East Anglia here on the map, and guess what? We've got ourselves an Odin Rune location in East Anglia, so I reckon this is potentially a location for her tomb here. She's also specifically named in the game files as Boudica, and I don't want to go ahead and spoil everything that Pedder's found here, so if this indeed does turn out to be true, which I'll be honest, I'm sure it will be, as it's from Pedder and his track record this year has been outstanding to say it mildly, but it does look like we do have a conversation with her in this tomb, and historically she actually ended up killing herself with poison rather than be captured by the Romans after losing a battle against them in the West Midlands, which happened around 61 AD. But I'll leave it to your imagination on how she actually manages to end up having a convo with Eivor 800 years later, but there we are. Now, that's not the only famous Briton we encounter in these tombs, because we've also got reference here to Cassivellaunus, and he's noted in the game files as being an energetic opponent of Julius Caesar's second invasion of Britain, and was a very famous chieftain for causing Caesar so many problems in battle, but was eventually defeated by Caesar himself, but spared and not yet killed. So we also come across him in one of the tombs somewhere in the south of England, which I think is where he's from. And our third famous chieftain who opposed Rome was Venutius, who actually led the tribe of Brigantes in northern Britain. And Venutius was well known for revolting continually against the Romans during their invasion, and was a continual thorn in each emperor's side. And nobody knows what actually happened to him, but there is an Odin's Room in northern England, so I imagine we will come across him there. Additionally, Pedder's also found reference to 3 keys that we actually pick up while we're inside these tombs, and incidentally they are named as Manius's workshop key, Venutius's key, and Cassivellaunus's key, as well as an artifact described as a mysterious object that's been found in Boudica's tomb. So perhaps we pick up each key that then leads us on to the next tomb, and then we use Boudica's artifact on the cave door that Manius the engineer couldn't actually open. So that is of course more speculation from me, but I'm very keen to hear your thoughts down below on this. All in all though, it does look like we'll be exploring these tombs around England, dodging the booby traps laid by Manius on behalf of the Roman Emperor Nero, while we also come across these famous fallen chieftains who opposed the Roman occupation, where we actually subsequently learn more about their lives and try and open this big mysterious Isu door. And I've got to be honest with you, sounds like a lot of fun and I'm game. But I'll tell you what else I'm game for, and that's more information from Pedder. And I'm pleased to say on behalf of all of us that he has found a lot more cool stuff for us to chat about and speculate on, including third DLC content and more Kassandra info. So if that is of interest to you, maybe worth clicking the notification bell so you can find your way back easily. Also, if you haven't already, do come jump into our awesome Discord community of over 600 members. There's a great set of people here, and it would be fantastic to see you in the lobby. And of course, big thanks to our community Yoms Viking Pedder, another top shift mate. I'm very much looking forward to more. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure I'll catch you in the next one, and as usual, coffee's on me.